Welcome to the Right Hand Drive Guys podcast, the show for guys who like right-hand drives. We are your hosts. I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
Yo.
Make sure to follow us on all the socials at RHDGUIS, and of course, DM us anytime with questions. Check out the merch on RHDGUIS.com, and we hope you enjoy episode 57. Episode 57.
Yeah.
We are kind of bummed. We had planned on having Ryan Zumalen, the author of The Cult of GTR, on this episode. However, we had some audio issues. New podcast guys here.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen.
Hey, it happens.
But it's cool. We're going to keep it rolling because we got it rescheduled with him, and we will be providing that episode soon enough.
Yeah, can't wait for that one.
But for today, we just wanted to do something a little different, a little fun, just kind of keep it lighthearted. And we came up with a little game called Hot or Not. And I'm sure you can just about imagine what this game entails.
Right.
It entails us rapid firing 20 questions at each other and see what the opinion of the other is. So pretty much I'm going to throw some stuff out there. This guy's going to answer hot or not.
Yep.
And then afterwards, we're going to see why he thinks some of these items just aren't hot anymore.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
All right.
I'm going to be pretty brutal here.
Yeah, you do your thing, man. Your opinion is yours. You don't let anybody change it. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
You didn't cheat and look at my sheet, did you?
No.
Okay, cool. Are you sure?
All
right.
Yeah.
All right. I know how you like to get the jump on the start sometimes,
Let's get it.
All right. Racing shoes in your daily driver.
Not.
Godspeed, the company.
Not.
Female drifters.
Hot.
B-series.
Hot.
Electric vehicles.
Hot.
Eating while walking in Japan.
Oof. Not.
Pre-mixed coolant.
Hot.
Up badging.
Oof. Not.
Sumitomo tires.
They got to be road flags hot.
The SR20 DET.
Hot.
Front mount intakes.
Oof. Hot.
Limo tint.
Oof. Not.
Tokyo Disney.
Absolutely not.
Oh, come on, dude. My daughter would be very disappointed right now. Okay. Try to hold yourself together, all right?
Got it.
All right. Randy Truong, drifting Ebisu.
Before you said the second part, hot, but not.
R33 sedan.
Hot.
Nope.
Hot.
Boss Coffee.
Hot. Or cold.
Hey, that's not an option. Mushroom air filters.
Ooh, hot.
Rear mount turbo system.
That's a tough one. There's two sides to that one, but for the sake of shortness, not.
96 spec. Integra Type Rs.
Ooh, hot.
All right, so that was 20 questions. I feel like I hit you with some pretty decent ones.
Yeah.
Now just tell me, why can't I be wearing my racing shoes in my daily driver?
Because there's got to be something more comfortable. There's got to be something that looks a little better, too.
There's a line somewhere that's crossing it.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes along with the lines of wearing driving gloves,
Yeah.
in your daily
Gloves.
driver.
If you wear just one driving glove, that's fine. But if you're wearing both, that's way too serious. What's wrong with Godspeed?
I mean, from what I know him as, it's, that Chinese company. They make cheaper
Cheap
stuff.
eBay,
eBay
yeah.
type stuff. It's good to get you by, I guess, if you're in a pinch. You know, it's got a name
Sure.
on it, and they've been around forever. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're great products. It's not something I would want to have in my car for the long run.
Right. Maybe if it was some budget build where you needed something, but you weren't trying to like overextend the budget.
Right. I honestly haven't even looked at their products in a long
Yeah,
time.
I don't know what
But
they even make now.
I remember back in the day, they started making bolt-in cages, and that's kind of...
Nice.
I was like, whoa.
That thin wall tubing, yeah. What about, so why don't you eat while you walk in Japan?
Oh, it's against the rules.
It is against the rules.
I mean, kind of. It's against their whole thing over there. That's just one of the things they don't do. You never see anyone walking and eating. Barely see anyone walking and drinking. You don't see...
Literally.
Like...
They're all
it.
like, it's weird. I mean, it's not weird, but comparatively to us, right?
Yeah.
Like they plan, or it's almost probably automatic, right? But they have enough time to eat where they purchase, right?
Like 7-Elevens, Lawson, they all have like a spot, or most of them have a spot where you can eat.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you are walking and eating, what are you going to do with your trash?
Right, that's true.
That's another thing.
I guess your pocket, but yeah. So what? Like you don't up badge?
No. I mean, no, not me personally. No, I do not. I would rather just take the badges off, you know?
Yeah. It's cleaner anyway.
Yeah, it's cleaner anyway. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
It's extra effort for no gain.
And if we're talking like GTT up to GTR, it's honestly against the code of ethics.
Yeah, dude, don't let Jay find out.
Yeah, absolutely not. So what? You just don't limo tint all your cars?
That's a tough one. So like, if it's on a correct type of car, and maybe the back windows,
like a VIP style car, or something.
If it's one of those VIP style like Bipu builds or whatever, yeah, that's cool. But for me, it's not. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I like to.
Sure.
My vision is already terrible. I like to be able to see out of my car and not run over stuff.
Well, especially in a right-hand drive car, and you have more. Just kind of blind spots, and if you got dark limo tint. So you wouldn't go back to Tokyo Disney, or but like what? You wouldn't go back?
I mean, it's the only Disney I've been to.
Nice. Okay,
So,
cool.
You know,
Yeah.
I guess I went to the right one, but nah, it's not necessarily my cup of
Near
tea.
thing, huh?
It's not necessarily my thing.
And so what you're really telling me is that like Randy Truong drifting at Ebisu and losing his hood on the north course and spinning out on the northeast course and just blowing his tires on the south course. You're telling me that wasn't like exciting for you?
Nah, dude, Randy's cool. He's a character for sure. And seeing him drive in person and try to keep up with the pros. It was a fun thing to see.
Yeah, it was.
Seeing his
cool.
hood blow off right on the north course, right on the front straight. Just
like just comes out and just the hood just like falls.
Dude, makes the craziest sound when it smashes the windshield. Dude.
Yeah.
I don't think it broke the windshield though.
Yeah,
so
he got
good.
lucky.
Yeah.
He must have planned that. That was one of the stunts.
Yeah, that was one of his little YouTuber things, right?
Yeah. So, all right. Lastly, rear mount turbo. Like, what's so not hot about that?
It's just so much plumbing, dude. You gotta have to get oil back to your turbo. You gotta drain that oil. You gotta potentially get coolant back to the turbo, and return that. Then you got the intercooler piping that runs all the way up front, or maybe in the rear if you have a rear mount intercooler. But either way, that piping is going to go back up front to the engine. That's just like way more going on than a regular mounted turbo.
Oh,
However, with a rear mount turbo, you don't have to buy turbo manifolds. So I guess that's cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Like you can just pipe it into the back.
Pipe it right in. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't have much experience with the rear mount turbos, and especially living up here in Maine, the majority of my life, nobody was taking those type of chances, so to speak.
Yeah.
Except for one guy. I don't remember his name. He had a Nissan Maxima. Yeah, and he had a rear mount turbo set up on it, and it was cool because you could hear the turbo like very clearly from the back of the car, of course. But otherwise, yeah, like it really just seemed
so
like
much complication.
ton of just stuff. And who came up with that? Like what? Who was the guy who was like, yo, let's put this in the back?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it must have been like, I feel like it gained popularity like in the 2000s.
Yeah, that's
before
what I would
2010,
say.
Around that era. I knew a guy that had a Mustang with one, and it always had an issue. He was always blowing an oil line off or just something going wrong with it, because like, I mean, it's got to be pretty high, or you got to have like scavenger pumps to get the oil to it and from it. Like,
right. And it's
just so much complication.
It's exposed to the elements in a different way than it generally would be in your engine bay.
Yeah, there's a lot of crap coming up under the back of the car.
Right.
Whereas the front, where they usually are, there's not really that much going on.
Doing burnouts and you get a rubber coating on your turbo.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's kind of like, your turbo's sucking up tire, dude. And it's coming back out. Yeah.
I don't think. And you got an air filter. I don't know if that's the whole thing. So, yeah, I get it. I mean,
maybe if you have like some weird little ghetto setup and it works and you're just trying to do something, I don't know.
I'm going to Google that weird little ghetto.
Like if you have a
turbo,
if you have
setups.
a K car or something, like I don't
for sure,
know, dude.
It's in the trunk.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes up in the trunk.
That'd be sick, actually.
All right, so those are my hot or nots. I'd say you did a great job. Now it's your turn to go ahead and just grill me.
All right, first one.
Sorry, I know I try to cheat. I'm trying to premeditate.
Eyes on your own paper.
Sorry.
All right. Dildo or bubble shift knobs?
Dildo. Oh, sorry. That's not how this game works, is it? Dang it, I messed up again. Hot.
Stretch tires?
Not.
Momo steering wheels?
Not.
Blitz 03s?
Hot.
Faded paint jobs where they do like a two-tone fade through the front and the back, like LZ's S15 that he had in Formula D.
Oh, like fade to another color.
Yeah.
Hot.
Clear taillights.
Hot.
Screamer pipes or open dumps for the wastegate.
Oh, geez. Not. Sorry.
Itasha, like the anime graphics on cars.
Hot.
BBS LMs.
Hot.
GT wings.
Not.
Blow-off valves.
Not.
JDM squash air scent.
Always hot.
NRG Prisma seats.
That's like the one that was in that S15 that I was looking at.
I think so, yeah. They usually
like
have some
two colors, right? Like,
right, they have usually some pretty wild graphics and stuff too that they have.
I really haven't seen many. I'm going to call them hot.
Okay. Max Peating Rod turbos. Chinese $200 turbos.
I guess it depends on the application. That's a hard one. I'll just say not.
Okay. Good.
Good.
Quick release bumper fasteners. You know the ones.
The application based ones are hard, right? I'm going to say not.
Okay. Old school style hood pins.
This, with the actual pin.
Yeah.
I'm going to call those hot.
Hot. Fake JDM license plate, because RB26 on your front plate's sick.
Oh, that's not hot because it's not real.
We also had you asked me this one, up badging.
Not hot. I mean, it is hot for some people, but just not hot for me.
Turbo timers.
Hot.
ETC card readers in the United States.
Hot as hell.
All right.
Hard as hell.
All right. So, first knot you had was stretch tires. What's the hate on the stretch tires?
I'm not into it. I'm like my sidewall matches my rim type guy. That's just me. I just really like, even on this S14 back here, I'm like, I get it. It makes the wheels fit, and I guess that would be the only way it'd ever be hot for me, is if it was a necessity for the car.
Right. It has to fit it.
Right. But if you're stretching your tires because A, you can't afford the right size tires, B, you think Stance Boy is hot shit, those things don't work for me. It has to be functional.
Right.
And generally with the cars that I've owned, like, functional is like a flat sidewall tire that fits, within the fenders and makes sense. This S14 was the first car I had ever even owned that a stretch tire makes sense. I still just don't love it.
Right. It's it's one of those things where it has to be in the correct situation. If you're stretching your tires and your fitment sucks, then get it out of here, dude. Put just a correct size tire on that thing.
Just stop.
Or get some spacers. Just do something. Don't have stretch tires and sunk fitment, or else...
It's got to be functional, like with everything that you do, right? It just has to be functional, and otherwise you're probably either wasting money, you look stupid, one of the two, right? Like, it's... Keep going quick before I get myself in trouble.
Momo steering wheels, dude, not hot.
Man, I mean, they are hot in Japan, dude, because every car you get from Japan has a Momo steering wheel, dude.
Insane, dude.
Like
my R32 came with the stupid drifting one. I wanted to throw it out the window on the way home.
Yeah, dude.
I hate them.
It's just, it is wild how Momo Italy, right, like, somehow gained this market share in Japan for these steering wheels. I got 4 in a box over there that came in cars that, like, I don't even dare to list on eBay because I don't want people thinking I'm using these things.
Dude.
So I mean, I'm sure, for the Momos there's a car and a place and a time, but like in these cars it's definitely not hot. And what's super not hot is the fake Momos in this DB8 ITR over here. When we first had it pull in the garage, Aaron jumps in and he's like, "Oh, what do you know? Another Momo?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what do you know?" He grabs onto it, basically bends the thing in half.
Tacos it, dude.
Like, literally, he grabs it and like rips on it, dude. And the thing is flexing like I've never seen a wheel flex like this before.
Dude, it looks sus to begin with, and I was like, well, let me give it the old shake test. And dude, if you ever think any steering wheel is fake, just grab the top and grab the bottom and just do one of these. If you're getting a lot of motion with not a lot of effort,
it's fake.
Throw that thing in the trash. If you get in a car wreck with that thing, dude, that's
just imagine you collide with something and the steering wheel breaks, your fists go through the tack or whatever. So no, I mean, Momo's just not hot for me.
Not hot for me either. Keep them out of JDM cars. Keep them out of Japan, dude.
Yeah,
someone go to AutoBox and steal all of them and throw them in the dumpster, dude. Get these Momo wheels out of here.
Yes, absolutely. We need like a stop production on them when it comes to Japan.
All right. Well, let's see. Next one. Screamer pipes and open dumps for the wastegate. Not a fan.
I'm gonna tread lightly here because there's somebody in the room who has one. So it's kind of a thing, right? Like, I've had them. I had a Evo 9 that had like the same setup as you, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I like think that they're cool, like, of course, on like the right car. But to me, I don't know if there's the function of that is there, and then it has to be on the right car. Like when your car hits open dump, it's like it's wild. It's like,
I know, it's
wow. Like, it's just like this all of a sudden. I remember when you first got the car and we were over in Randolph and you like take me for a ride, and it literally scared the shit out of me. I was like, whoa, what the heck is that? Dude, pull over. Dude, pull over. Like, dude, we got to check if your exhaust is coming off. Like, what is going on? And so, it's just one of those things sure on like a race car or like something where it super makes sense, but otherwise, like I feel like you could get more function out of the car without releasing that.
Yeah,
like
it's one of those things. It's like a blessing and a curse. You want it whenever you're like beating on your car and like whatever. It sounds awesome when drifting and whatnot.
Right.
But when you're trying to be like kind of low key and just trying to get through traffic, and you know, in every
What do
gear
you
you're
mean,
hitting,
dude? Yeah.
like
Yours sounds crazy. It sounds like it's like sucking through a skinny straw or something. It's just like this, like, I mean, but right. I mean, yeah, if you were, let's just say, out on the track, like full throttle, like, you know, ripping, like, yeah, it would sound awesome to
Right.
the spectators,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So I get it. I just like, I guess I don't really have a car that it applies to, so it's just not super
right.
hot.
It's not one of those things where I'm like, that's my first mod I got to do is the screamer pipe. Like,
Yeah.
it's not it. But I mean, it's there, so I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, you get these side dump screamer pipes.
Yeah, dude. It's like, whew. All right, next one, GT wings, dude. The big GT wings, the Voltex, all those,
Yeah.
dude. You not into them?
Because I'm not like a drifter, right? Like I feel like those wings look dope on drift cars and they look dope on super time attack style cars, right?
Right.
And when you ask me the question,
When they're functional, like
right,
that's
exactly,
when they're functional. is when they're on
and
those
that's
type of
like
cars.
going to be a trend with this, right? Is that I'm like, okay, this isn't functional to jump. Like, I guess it looks cool, but in my opinion, it doesn't even look cool out on the street like that.
Right.
Okay, I'm jumping in my car. I'm headed over to Hannaford to get a rotisserie chicken. I got my GT wing just a blaring, dude. Turned all the way up, dude. Like, no, dude, that's not functional. That
Getting
ain't
all the
cool,
downforce
dude.
on the
Right.
way there.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty much like I got the biggest fender gap in the front because the downforce is just slamming me so hard, dude.
Gas
on the
mileage just
on the way
tanking,
to
dude, because all this
Hannaford, dude.
downforce.
So, I mean, on the track, hot as hell, of course. Dude, on the track, they totally make sense. Like Daigo Saito had one, right?
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that, whatever that thing is.
That 8.6, right?
Yeah. So that looked dope. And that was like functional for that car to an extent, right? So that's where it belongs. Like on one of these cars in here that's like maybe not going to see the track,
Yeah.
I don't think it's really. However, the hard part about this discussion is you have guys like, and it's not extreme, but you have guys like, I don't know, you'll have to say his name, but the BCNR 33, the blue, the LM,
Right.
his is like in between, right? Like it's not like extreme, but it's definitely a lot more than like stock.
His car plays the part. You know, it also has cage. It's full gutted interior. It's even though it's a street car, he has like the race car look. I guess you could say.
So that's like, I guess where it's like this line of, yeah, he's probably, I don't know if he takes that to the track. I hope he does, but it's acceptable, because it does. It's like his theme, right?
Exactly.
So in that case, it would be hot. But like if you're just, you know, ripping your 350Z around,
if you got a stock 350Z with a giant GT wing on it,
with the frame mount GT Pelican reverse gooseneck wing, then I mean, you just
dude,
it's not functional.
Those chassis mount wings, like they look so sick on time attack cars when they have the full canards and all the aero diffusers and vortex generators, all that stuff. You know, they look sick, but like on a stock car,
or even just a car with wheels,
just keep it simple.
Right.
Like if you don't have all the aero to match that wing, then just don't even bother because you look silly.
Yeah, and so again, it's generally function over form when it comes to these things.
We better keep going before we get in trouble.
Yeah. We don't want to offend
Next
anyone.
one was blow off valves. Not a fan.
So the 23-year-old me, the 26-year-old me, we're like, hell yeah, HKS SSQV, let's get the freaking duels.
Yes,
we need
dude.
the duels. Yes, dude. The 38-year-old me is like, choo.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, we don't need all that attention. You know, if my car came with a recirculation setup, I'm probably recirculating. Right. If it's something that's upgraded beyond that and there isn't so much pressure that I'm going to do damage by not having some sort of bypass or blow off valve, then I'm probably not going to have it. Like, you don't have yours.
Yeah, no, I took mine off. Whenever I got my car, it had a tile on it, and it kind of same along the lines of a screamer pipe. Like, it's cool when you want it, but like when you don't, when you're trying to be like low key, trying to have a conversation in your car, but like also driving in traffic, you don't want it like over and over again. It's like kind of obnoxious.
That is so like. Right, and of course, like, you know, the films like The Fast and the Furious accentuated those noises, you know, and so that did create that desire back then. Right, but I would definitely say now, it's a little more low key, and unless you got that power in that pressure,
unless you got
system,
that much boost, like,
and you know, no, you shouldn't damage your turbo for the sake of like being low key. That's a different story. But for these 300-400 horsepower cars, like you're probably all right. And again, if the car, like for example, you know, my 33, it came with a recirculation setup, so I'm gonna leave that even if I, you know, upgrade my whatever bypass valves or, you know, blow off valves. I'm gonna keep them recirculating because that's what that's how it was built. Right. You know?
Usually you'll get that on the mass air flow meter cars because that's unmetered air if it lets it out.
And so, you know, back when I had the Evos and stuff, those came with a bypass valve that recirculated. And so I would still see, because I was at that age where the blow-off valves were sweet, but like I was starting to mature and I knew that I needed to like continue to bypass that air. So what do? Oh, I just go ahead and get the SSQV with the bypass kit.
Yes,
dude, so now I got kit. Both, right? And and it's still louder, you know, it's still get that, but I'm not like you know, releasing to the atmosphere.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like whenever I came up, I was into SR20s and things like that, and those dudes would never recirculate it. They would say, rather than recirculate it, they would say you needed SAFC to, like, you know, tune it a little bit so it didn't die at stoplights, or you just dealt with it dying at stoplights if you were beating on it and then coming to a stop.
Yeah.
But
it's like, why is this guy coming to a stop at 4,500 RPMs? What the hell's going on?
Got to keep that thing revved up. Cool. Next one. Chinese turbos, max speeding rod turbos specifically.
Yeah, I mean,
not.
I mean, so like there's again, like just like with everything, there's like this time and place for everything. If I'm upgrading my, you know, the car that I really love, like I'm probably not upgrading from like a, let's just say, factory S14 turbo to a Chinese turbo, right?
That'd be a downgrade.
Right, that would be a downgrade. Even if my size is larger, my quality is less, and therefore my reliability also goes down. So, however, if I got a project that's a beater that I want to have fun with, and again, like that budget build, like these are going to work. Like and of course, how long they last all depend on you and how you treat them and the boost that you give them.
Right.
So there is a place in the market for these turbos, because if I am doing this project, let's just say we got a project, we got a motor without a turbo, we can save this money, use this. We know that it's not the lifeblood of the car. We don't want to spend $13,000 to $2,000 on a Garrett.
Right.
We're spending $400 on this, and we at least get to go out and have fun. You know, we at least get to have fun, and at, you know, the very least, we're gathering data to realize maybe this $200 or $300 or $400 turbo is worth it for these projects, or we're learning these turbos are not worth it for these projects because we only got this time out of it. So, yeah, on like your pride and joy, definitely not hot. Definitely not, unless that's what it came with. And that, see, this is that tread lightly thing because there's someone in the room.
Oh, yeah?
But like, again, like you've been running that came on the car. You've been running it on the car. And you haven't changed it out because it simply hasn't died. So
I know I've been waiting for it.
That's a testament to it, right? Is like, if it works, let it be. because why would you go spend, again, like $2,000 on a Garrett to swap that out? Literally, I mean, of course, there'd be better efficiency and some other little things, but literally not gaining that much, but you're spending.
Right.
So
100%. Yeah. I mean, like, I've been beating this car for the past almost 3 years now, and it's had one of those turbos on it. It's had
and a screamer pipe. Yeah.
You know, and it's been running 10 to 14 pounds the whole time, and no blow off valve, and I just beat on it. I'm waiting for it to blow up so I can make myself upgrade to a Garrett. But I haven't yet because it works for the time being, and I don't want to have to deal with getting a retune and things like that.
And then you just have a Ching Chong turbo sitting around, like
spare.
Then
So I mean, I'm waiting for it to blow up or whatever.
I'm sure we could arrange it. Right?
Yeah.
But right, I mean, there's a time and a place for them. Absolutely. I'm sure you wouldn't replace the one you have with another one if it blew.
I mean, $200.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy.
That is wild. $200 for a turbo, and it's lasted, probably 20 to 30,000 kilometers.
Yeah, I mean, like, can't really complain.
Not bad, to be honest. So, but yeah, definitely wouldn't go out and buy one.
Yeah,
do it on purpose. You know what I mean? Quick release bumper fasteners. Yeah, that's kind of self-explanatory. Those are garbage. If you're having to drill out holes in your bumper, like, what's the point?
So again, like, function over form, right? The form guys, like, that are putting these on their cars, but let's just say they don't have a race car that doesn't need this type of application, right? Like, sure, because a lot of Honda dudes do it, right?
Yeah, they rip that bumper tab off, right? Because they lowered their car too much,
right?
And
so I get that they don't want to plastic weld the bumper tab back on, blah blah blah. But the Hondas that actually have those and they're functional are the drag Hondas.
Oh yeah. Because, where you need to be taking that off quickly and
making adjustments or whatever. So, functionally for a drag car or whatever it may be, sure, those are cool. But for the most part, this Hot or Not was about like street cars, not purpose-built cars. And if you have a street car with those, I guess if it's a necessity because you dragged your bumper through the toll on the Tappan Zee Bridge or whatever you're doing. But like otherwise, it really doesn't look cool. It kind of makes your car look like fucked up.
Yeah, 100%.
A little bit.
My favorite is when like they have them there, they have the little mounts there, but nothing holding it together, and the bumper is up fine.
Yeah, they lost their rubber bands.
They lost their rubber band, but like it turns out they didn't even need it all along.
It was just it was not functional.
All right,
last one, huh?
Yeah. Fake JDM license plates. Man, these things were all over eBay back in the day. I feel like probably still are.
Yeah, and some people can't tell the difference and don't understand that they're not real. And so, what's wrong? And not that I or we are complete like purists, so to speak, but like fake stuff a lot of times is a easy way out. Like, when there are guys maybe like us and way more intense about it that literally like search and scour and like connect to try to find these real items.
Right.
And you could just go on eBay and order a fake one.
Yeah.
And like, so that dilutes the effort that this other guy put in to find this genuine plate or this genuine header or this genuine, whatever. And like, I get it, dude. There's different budgets and different levels of quality on builds, and I totally respect that. And I'm not saying that if you got a fake plate, you're like a douchebag. I'm just simply saying like, that's an easy route out.
Yeah.
It's an easy route. And some people like to take the easy route because it gets them onto the next thing faster. Me personally, I'd rather wait a year and find that legitimate plate. And then when I put it on my car, it matches everything else that's legitimate on the car instead of just taking that easy, cheap route. Because like one thing I feel like, and I don't want to get off into a rant, but one thing I feel like in the car scene that is like lacking with especially a lot of maybe younger people is patience.
Yes.
Patience is like, And I get it, dude. Like when we were like 23 and 24, like patience is hard, man. Like
yeah.
you don't want to wait. You can envision this in your head, and it's very exciting. And the quickest way to make it happen is what gives you that fulfillment, right? But I personally believe that the wait in like earning it really gives you so much more fulfillment.
Yes, makes it that much sweeter.
Right, because of that build up. Like when it's I want it, I got it, the build up isn't there. And so like the true appreciation of these parts or these accessories that are coveted almost in some regards, you know, like if you had a like we're talking about fake plates, if you found a real plate that had RB26 on it and was literally used in whatever prefecture on whatever car, whether it was a Skyline or not, like, dude, that's like a legitimate piece of history.
Right.
Like, you know, and so when you just buy one that was just stamped out by some dude in China,
or
like,
printed, not even stamped.
yeah, then like there isn't that history to it. And so this applies to like a lot of these parts that are going around that are being faked or, you know, whatever, reproduced.
Yeah.
Like the pride of waiting and accomplishing it and having the legitimate part, I feel is just so much more rewarding. So it will never be hot for me to have fake or reproduced parts. Never.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. All right. So that was the public service announcement. We've been working up to that. Just quit buying fake stuff. All right. So that was episode 57. We just wanted to play around and kind of change up the format a little bit, have a little fun. As you can tell, we got to laugh and we got to joking. So absolutely appreciate you coming through, listening to us. The support is amazing. We're just out here kind of doing this for fun and trying to connect with the community. So again, feel free to DM us on all the socials, whether it's questions about Japan, questions about cars. We get them all the time, and we do our best to kind of point people in the right direction. But for this episode of Hot or Not, I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
See ya.
Peace.